Today on New England Living, we're heading to Massachusetts' North Shore for a look at some of our region's storied past. First, we stop by America's antique capital to learn the time-honored art of antiquing. Then it's off to the Witch City for a tour of Salem's most historic houses. And we stop at a local distillery serving up creative cocktails with a twist. Plus, Boston's own Joanne Chang joins us in the test kitchen to show off her newest take on a classic favorite. It all starts right now on New England Living. New England has a style all its own. The people, the history, the culture. Join us as we discover the faces and places, the design and destinations, everyone and everything that makes New England extraordinary.
This is getting a little spicy.
Love the place you call home with New England Living. Thanks for joining us today on New England Living. I'm your host, Rachel Holt. First up, we're heading to the North Shore to learn the time-honored art of antiquing. Here in Essex, a place known for its antique shops and local charm, one man's trash is another man's treasure. But how do you go about discovering that treasure? We're here to find out. North Shore native and renowned designer Kathy Marshall joined me for a stroll through America's antiques capital. We're here in Essex, Massachusetts, and it seems like everywhere you turn, there's an antique shop.
Oh my
gosh.
Why
is that?
Well, you know, I mean, it makes a lot of sense if you think about it, because Essex, Mass is really where shipbuilding started, so there's a lot of antique homes here and antique dealers.
Well, you know it's good for antiques when they nickname one of the streets Antique Alley.
Yeah.
Where is your favorite store to go into?
One of my most favorite places to go is David Neligan's Antiques. With David, you know you're really getting a great curated piece. He's gonna have the provenance of where the piece is from, and he buys only what he likes, and what he likes is gorgeous.
I've been in the business now for quite a few years, and I've developed great connections. I travel a lot around the country. I get called in to look at estates. It's very difficult to pass up buying opportunities.
So this is David Neligan's shop. He has two here in Essex, and this shop is jam-packed with great items, a lot of decorative items. This is where I would come to find that perfect piece.
So Kathy, you have your bag of essentials that you take with you antiquing. It helps you along the way. I've been dying to know. What's in there?
I actually leave it in my car because I'm always stopping and antiquing along the way, but a must-have is a tape measure.
Okay.
I have a lot of other things in here. I have like my notebook, I have sample fabrics, I have plans that I'm working on, and of course a well-charged phone.
And for someone like me who doesn't go antiquing, you walk in the store, it is overwhelming. Where are you looking at first?
It is overwhelming. This shop is jam-packed with gorgeous things. For instance, take these. This is a French toll, great color, great shape. I would use this for flowers. Put it in, yep, bathroom, kitchen, it's fabulous. Another thing I always look for is all right, so look at this guy. He's unbelievable. I'm not sure what he is. I think he's a squirrel. He's so fun. This would be in a small, like a city dweller. You'd have like a great chair. This is a great drinks table. You know, you don't want to be too serious about things. There's a lot of serious things in here, but there's something like this that's super fun. You know, you shouldn't be intimidated. Ask questions, and first of all, train your eye to go to what you like. Like, if you see this room, like, what are you gravitating towards? What do you like?
You know, my eye is instantly drawn to this guy.
Oh, yeah.
What could we do with him?
Yeah, I mean, he's really great. I mean, this is a crab bronze. I would put this on a coffee table with some great books. He could be in a coastal bathroom. I mean, he pretty much could go anywhere. Well, and that's a great place to start too in terms of antiquing, because if you're just starting out, you might want to find one great piece.
And one of the things that's really surprised me about today is how much fun it is to go antiquing, because there is so much to see. I mean, I could spend hours in this store, so
Totally.
What would you say to someone who's never been antiquing before about just the process of doing it?
Oh, it's the most fun thing to do. Just to come up to a spot like Essex, go out to lunch, go for a stroll, meander into the different shops. There's different kinds of shops that are here. It's a fun day.
And you really learn stuff about your style too, because I am liking some really strange things in here.
Yeah. There are design goals, but if you find something that you really love, then you throw those rules out and do that with everything that you buy, and before you know it, your house will be amazing.
After a few great finds at our first stop, Kathy and I headed out in search of some more hidden gems.
So Rachel, now we are at David Neligan's second shop. As you can see, this is a really fabulous place. We're gonna see a lot of furniture. Come on inside and I'll show you what we have.
I would love to.
My advice when I come into a shop like this is get acquainted with the space. Walk around, let your eye take it in, then do another pass, and then see what happens.
According to Kathy, there's an easy way to integrate antique design with contemporary style.
So a lot of times I bring fabrics with me, and this is a perfect example. This is a beautiful old antique. It's great scale, size, love everything about it. The color's perfect. But if I want to elevate it and bring it into a more modern look, using some of these great fabrics like this. This is actually a gorgeous zebra fabric. It's really kind of a timeless print, but it's fun and it brings it more modern. You know, it really complements this old piece and brings it forward.
For owner David Neligan, his love for antiques started at an early age.
Well, I grew up on a farm in Connecticut, and I collected bottles. That kind of led to a passion for collecting and history.
And here we are, almost 30 years later.
Yeah, and still accumulating.
From America's antiques capital to America's witch city, we're in Salem, Massachusetts to check out a local business putting a new spin on an old tradition. This is Deacon Giles. With craft breweries on the rise, co-founder Ian Hunter decided to focus his efforts on opening a local craft distillery.
We opened on Halloween weekend of 2015 and started with our white rum called Liquid Damnation and our original gin, and have been slowly and steadily adding to our lineup since then. We now have a couple of different gins, 3 different rums, a vodka, and a number of experimental single batches that we produce. We also added some canned cocktails in the past year. The canned cocktails really solved a problem for us of being able to offer something that people can take with them where they don't have to do the mixing themselves. We've got 3 out at the moment, our gin and tonic, vodka soda cranberry, and our rum and ginger beer, which is the Wicked Stony Ked. Kind of bringing a little bit of Massachusetts somewhere else is kind of that goal.
Fun names, and there's also a lot of fun artwork everywhere on the labels, and especially if you come here, there's a huge mural on the wall. Can you tell us about that?
The mural on the wall is from the original Deacon Giles story, a story written in 1835 here in Salem. The short version is that Amos Giles was an impious man who distilled rum on the Sabbath, paid his workers in liquor, and sold Bibles from his counting room, and one day accidentally hired a gang of demons to operate his distillery. Turns out they were sent to play a trick on him to teach him about his evil ways, and branded his barrels with messages of damnation that glowed with an unholy light when they were tapped. And that was really our inspiration for all of our artwork going forward. So we sort of bring that woodcut feel into all of our labels that we produce.
So how does distilling in New England create a more distinctive spirit?
We want the big temperature swings that we see from summertime to wintertime, because that's going to influence the barrels, help them swell and contract, and draw the spirit into the pores of the wood and then express it back out. So it plays a big role in the aging timeline for us.
So you're focused on right here in Salem, but actually New England in general has a really rich history in distilling, is that correct?
Absolutely, it does, particularly rum. Rum was America's first spirit. Believe it or not, even in the early 1800s, there were as many as 7 rum distilleries just in the city of Salem alone, over 70 in Massachusetts, more than 100 throughout New England. Basically, if there was a port, there was a rum distillery. We want to try and honor that history with the products that we produce. We use 100% molasses as the base for our rum because that's what was used back in those days.
In the Speakeasy Lab, customers can try cocktails they won't find anywhere else.
When we first opened the distillery, we were just using this as a tasting room. And about a year in, we decided to expand the program and develop cocktails. It's the best way for us to introduce our product.
Jesse Brenneman is co-founder and chief alchemist at Deacon Giles.
So this is really the heart of operation. It's what sets us apart. This is basically essentially where we start with a fermented wash and turn it into alcohol.
And one of the other things that separates you from other places is all the ingredients that you use. This is for your original gin, and that looks pretty complex.
It is. We use quite a few ingredients, more so than I think your average gin. We start with some grains as the base, then we add juniper, coriander, cardamom, a couple of citrus spices, as well as rose hips, mace, and then angelica root, which is one of my favorites.
Jesse also loves to find new ways to create unique flavor profiles.
Typically, we don't barrel age our original gin. So this is a quick experiment we're going to try out. We took a batch of our original gin, put it into one of our used oak barrels, and we're going to pull some samples here and try it out.
What's sticking out to me is actually a caramel flavor.
Exactly, yeah, that's going to be imparted by the caramelized sugars from the wood.
Oh, okay, it all makes sense. It's really good. Cheers.
We have two rules here, and one is to make better booze, and the other one is to tell damn good stories doing it.
Coming up after the break, we're staying right here in Salem for a special tour of some of America's most historic homes. So don't go anywhere. New England Living will be right back.